Brigade.
Peter, it's time to look at the next challenge. Round 4 is not only the halfway mark of the 2010 Sasol South African Rally Championship, but is also one of the most feared events on the calendar. It's time for the championship pretenders to make a move. This is the Rally of South Africa. The Rally of South Africa is a big event on the South African motorsport calendar, but with the biggest event on the world sporting calendar now only days away, it was time for some of the rally teams to also show their support for our national soccer stars. Like the teams competing in the Rally of South Africa, Bafana Bafana will also face a tough challenge. But with this kind of support from all corners of South Africa, our national soccer stars will surely make us proud. For round 4, the championship stays in Mpumalanga, but moves to the town of Ermelo and the demanding forest roads in the Warburton and Punveld areas. These roads are renowned car breakers, turning the Rally of South Africa into as much of an endurance event as it is a sprint race. To make matters even worse, the Rally of South Africa is home to the infamous Jessie-Vale stage, at nearly 60 kilometres, by far the longest stage in South African rallying. With 2 second-place finishes and a win after 3 events, Enzo Kuhn has a comfortable lead in the championship. Will he repeat his 2006 championship year, or is it still too early?
We're very happy, confident inside the vehicle. At times we're looking good. We got to get the points on the board. You know, winning a championship is not always just winning stages. You got to put the points at the end of the rally. And I think this event we don't have to win it, but we need the points.
Mark Cronier's had his share of bad luck this year, but is still second on the points table.
Yeah, our points are looking great. You know, with the finishes, a bit of a consolation prize for us. But yeah, we'll hopefully build, you know, through the rest of the year. It'll get stronger and stronger. So let's see how today goes.
Following his exit from the Sasol Rally, defending champion Hergen Fecken finds himself in unfamiliar territory. A full 23 points behind his teammate Kuhn.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind, but if you drop a score, we're not that far off. So we need to get the scores on the board now.
Round 2 winner Conrad Rotenbach is in a similar position as Fecken and will have his sights set on a good result in Ermelo.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's going to all out this weekend, and the last event was unfortunate, but these things happen in rallying, eh? You know, when you're driving hard and pushing, these things happen.
Johnny Gemmell was a title contender in 2009, but the Toyota drivers had an eventful season so far in 2010.
Yeah, we had a bit of bad luck on the first one, you know, with that event, but the second event we were doing well, and then we had a puncher. But last event we got a second place, and now we're coming to the 4th event, so it's going to be a tough one.
Jan Habig has 6 titles to his name and would like nothing more than to add a 7th in 2010.
This event itself, it's you know, one of the tough ones. The roads are very demanding and quite narrow, so one's got to stay out of the grass and the rocks on the side. Once you can manage that, you normally get a good result here.
Besides Rotenbach, Hein Lateghan is the leading privateer.
I always say to people is to get faster, it's not a switch. It's little bit by little bit, you know, and it's happening.
The Basil Reed BizHub Ford team of Charles Wilkin returns to rallying after a fire destroyed their brand new Fiesta during round 1 in Natal.
Yeah, it's back. It's been a long time. We should have been back at the Sasol, but big thanks to Basil Reed that made it possible. And yeah, you know, it's going to be difficult. I haven't rallied for quite a while, so we'll just have to play it by ear.
A number of very fast S2000 drivers will once again have their sights set on a good result. Team Total has no less than 3 entries in the form of Jean-Pierre Damso, Fernando Roida and Mohamed Musa. Jaapie van Niekerk has the pace to mix it up with the factory drivers, but he was suffering from a heavy bout of flu and did not make the start, while Motorride driver Evan Hutchison is getting faster and faster with every outing. Tian Schuberth is another consistent driver who will battle it out with the likes of Nicholas Ryan. Visser Du Plessis enters his 4th event since moving to S2000, and Namibian Jaco van Dijk completes a field of no less than 17 S2000 machines. It's time to get the show on the road as the mayor of Ermelo waves the flag to start the 36th Rally of South Africa. Enzo Kuhn is the first to leave the Ermelo Toyota start, followed by his Volkswagen teammate Hergen Fecken. Johnny Gemmell is the first Toyota on the road, while Jan Habig will launch his attack from fourth, ahead of the second Toyota of Marc Cronje. For the first time in more than 13 years, two Fords will contest the Premier Class, with the Fiestas of Conrad Rautenbach and Charles Wilkin starting 6th and 7th on the road respectively. The rally is based at Ermelo Toyota, but the action will take place around 60 kilometres east of the Mpumalanga town. Day one will only see 3 stages around Warburton, while the majority of the stages will take place near Panbult on Saturday. At just over 13 kilometres, Stage 1 provides a good opportunity for the teams to get used to the rough and tricky conditions. But it will immediately be followed by the 17 kilometres of Stage 2, leaving the drivers with no choice but to look after their cars on the first test. A little mishap early on could therefore have disastrous consequences.
3, 2, 1, go. Right 9, open. 100.
2010 Rally of South Africa action gets underway with a BP Ultimate Polo of championship leaders Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson, the first to have a taste of the tough conditions. Keen set the first benchmark time of 9 minutes and 13 seconds.
7 right and left 7. Now go. 250 to finish. Stand by. Okay, that'll do.
Very slippery out there, so we took it easy and a lot of 90s, your braking's critical.
Defending champions and BP Volkswagen teammates Hergen Fecken and Pierre Arries were next. They've won this event for the past 2 years and started well by setting the fastest time on Stage 1. 9 minutes and 3 seconds, a full 10 seconds faster than their teammates.
Okay, right 8, left 9 through, very rough. Red Ford. Got 9.04.
It's a difficult stage. There's a lot of ruts and stuff, so you have to keep in the center of the road.
The first of the Castrol Toyotas in the hands of Johnny Gemmell and Drew Starrock. Gemmell knew that he can't allow the competition to get away early on, so the Oris driver pushed hard.
30 past the end of the trees is medium left. Medium left here. 30 to Tunstall, Hilton right. Tunstall, Hilton right.
9 minutes and 22 seconds means almost 20 seconds lost on the first stage.
I just overshot one corner, had to turn around and lost 20 seconds. 15.
Very slippery out there.
Yeah, it is.
Jan Habig and Ralph Pitchford need no invitation to join any rally fight. The multiple champion was immediately on the pace and set a time of 9 minutes and 6 seconds, just 3 seconds slower than his BP Ultimate teammate. The Volkswagen and Castrol Toyota fight continues with Marc Cronje and Robert Paisley joining in on the action. Cronje's time is 5 seconds slower than the fastest so far, but still right in the mix.
We were a bit scrappy. We had a couple of opponents got it onto 2 wheels, so it wasn't a very nice flowing stage. Bit of a stop and start.
But the fight is no longer just between Volkswagen and Toyota, as Ford have also joined the party. Since joining this fight, Zimbabweans Conrad Rautenbach and Peter Marsh have been a huge force to be reckoned with, and Stage 1 was no different.
100, flying finish.
9 minutes and 5 seconds, just 1.6 seconds slower than Fecken, and good enough for second position.
I wasn't really in the right rhythm. It didn't feel that great, to be honest. But yeah, the car's working quite well, so I just got to get my mind right, and we'll get going on the next one, I think.
It's the first time since day 1 of the championship that Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich have turned a wheel in anger. But the Basil Reed Bizub Ford Fiesta was back in action and getting up to speed. Wilkin's time was good enough for 6th position.
A bit rusty there, struggling to get the rhythm, but yeah, nice to be back.
JP Damso and Kellen Swan opened their account with the 7th fastest time behind the wheel of the Total Evolution Toyota Run-X. Evan Hutchison and Alvin Coetzee had their first taste of S2000 action on the Rally of South Africa, 9th fastest for the Motorride Polo. Namibian Jaco van Dijk and Des de Fortier reached the end of a tough Stage 1 with a 10th fastest time.
Hergen Fecken takes the early lead with Conrad Rautenbach hot on his heels. Jan Habig and Marc Cronje are well within striking distance, followed by Enzo Kuhn and Charles Wilkin. Gemmel's little mishap sees him down in 8th, ahead of Hutchison and Van Dijk, who rounds off the top 10 after stage 1. Rally of South Africa action continues after the break, when the country's top gravel road racers tackle the next 2 stages, including the infamous Jessibale stage, where anything can happen. And to quote a cliché, where it usually does. It's early days on the Rally of South Africa. Hargen Fecken made the first move, but he's chased by a very hungry pack, and there's still a long way to go.
Without any chance to service the cars after stage 1, it was straight into stage 2 for Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson. The BP Ultimate Polo found it going slippery as they set a time of 12 minutes and 21 seconds.
3, left 2, 70, left 1, it is turn right 9.
It's quite slippy in the front, you know, and you're also looking for the road in the grass sometimes.
5, short left 9, short left 9, right 7, sudden, right 7, sudden.
Second on the road is not much better, but Hargen Fecken and Pierre Aries wanted to stamp their authority on this event early on and went 10 seconds faster than their BP Ultimate teammates.
1, go 350.
Johnny Gemmel and Drew Starrock had time to make up after stage 1. The Castrol Toyota Auris driver got it all together on stage 2 and set a time of 12 minutes and 10 seconds, just 1 second faster than Fecken. Jan Habig and Ralph Bedford were occupying 3rd position after stage 1, but Habig's time on stage 2 was 7 seconds slower than the winning pace. Mark Grenier and Robert Paisley had every intention to close the gap to Fecken's lead in the second of the Castrol Toyota Aurises, and on stage 2 he did exactly that, albeit by only 1 second.
Fortunately, we had again another one, close call. The road was very slippery and we came in and there was a big rock and we just managed to miss it. So.
Former World Rally Championship contender Conrad Rotenbach and navigator Peter Marsh were next to tackle stage 2. The Ford Fiesta lost around 2 seconds to stage winner Cronier, but maintained his 2nd position overall. Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich lost a few more seconds to the leaders on stage 2, as he is still finding his feet on the left-hand side of the new Basil Reed Bizub Ford Fiesta, but still maintained their position well inside the top 10. The pairing of JP Damser and Callan Swan were having a solid start to the event with another top 10 stage time in the Total Evolution Toyota Runex, just behind the Fiesta of Wilkin. Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe are among the favourites to clinch the inaugural Privateers Championship. Intercom problems slowed their progress on the first stage, but the Team Pertec Toyota Auris had a much better stage 2 that propelled them straight into the top 10 and into 9th position overall.
No, it was a disaster. There's something wrong with the intercom again. So we're battling to hear each other.
The second of the Team Total Evolution Toyota Runexes of Fernando Rueda and Dave Lefkowitz was now in a fierce battle with the Volkswagen Polo of Jaco van Dijk and Des de Fortier, as well as the Motorrad Polo of Evan Hutchison and Alvin Coetzee. On stage 2, both Van Dijk and Rueda set exactly the same time, down to every 10th of a second, with Hutchison and Hot Pursuit just 2 seconds slower. All 3 drivers at their sights firmly set on 10th position, which at this point belonged to Van Dijk. Hutchison was breathing down his neck and just 2 seconds behind, with Rueda a further 4 seconds back. Class S2000, or South Africa's Premier Rally class, is a tough place to be in, with no less than 16 cars fighting for glory. Tien Hubert and Carl Peskin were not yet up to speed behind the wheel of the Salon Group Polo, but still ahead of the similar Avis and Gabriel back machine of Nicholas Ryan and Jeff Tyra. Visser Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman have been battling to get their Team Pertec Toyota Auris race ready since joining the class, and this time they finally did. But it didn't last long, as a broken drive shaft slowed them down on stage 2. Mohamed Musa and Grant Martin suffered even more as the power steering in their Team Total Evolution Runex failed halfway through stage 1, forcing Musa to also tackle stage 2 without any mechanical help.
Start of stage 2, it was just on the line. I realized no power steering, and we did that the second busiest stage of the rally without power steering. That was, no, I don't recommend that to anybody.
It's a close affair at the top of the leaderboard. Hargen Fecken is in a familiar first position, but a determined Conrad Rotenbach is just 2.5 seconds adrift, with Mark Cronier breathing down his neck. Jan Habig is within striking distance ahead of Johnny Gemmel, Enzo Kuhn and Charles Wilkin, while Van Dijk rounds off the top 10. After the demanding 2 opening stages of the Rally of South Africa, the cars and drivers deserve a welcome rest back in the Warburton Service Park. In the Volkswagen Cape,